Have you ever met someone who refuses to move apartments even though their building is literally falling apart? Someone who stays in a soul-draining job for 20 years because at least I know what to expect? Or maybe that person is you, and every time life tries to hand you a new chapter, something inside screams, "No, go back, it was safer before." Today we're diving deep into one of the most common, yet least talked about, psychological patterns on the planet, the fear of change. Officially known as metathesiophobia, this isn't just laziness or stubbornness. It's a complex emotional and neurological response that affects millions of people, sometimes without them even realizing it. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why some people cling to the familiar like a life raft, where this fear actually comes from in the brain, the hidden childhood roots that plant it, the personality traits that make it worse, and, most importantly, realistic ways to loosen its grip, whether it's for you or someone you love. Let's begin. Part 1. What fear of change actually looks like in everyday life. First, let's make sure we're talking about the same thing. Fear of change isn't always dramatic. It's not only the person who cries when their favorite store closes. It shows up in subtle, sneaky ways, staying in toxic relationships years past their expiration date, turning down promotions because a new role sounds stressful, refusing to update phones or software because the old one still works fine, procrastinating life decisions, moving cities, starting a family, quitting smoking, forever, getting physically anxious, heart racing, sweaty palms, when routines are disrupted, even positively. If you've ever said, "I know I should do X, but I just can't," there's a good chance fear of change is in the driver's seat. Part 2. The brain on change. Why uncertainty feels like a threat. To understand this fear, we have to go inside the brain. Your brain has one core job: keep you alive. And for most of human evolution, predictability equal to survival. If you knew the berries by the river were safe yesterday, eating them today was a smart bet. Venturing into unknown territory could mean poison, predators, or getting lost forever. Fast forward to 2025. We're not hunting saber-toothed tigers anymore, but the brain hasn't gotten the memo. When change appears, a new job, a breakup, a move, the amygdala, your brain's smoke detector, lights up exactly the same way it would if a lion walked into the room. It floods your body with cortisol and adrenaline. Heart rate spikes, breathing gets shallow. Rational thinking takes a back seat. At the same time, the anterior cingulate cortex, the part that hates uncertainty and errors, starts screaming, "Danger, unknown outcome." Neuroscientists at University College London did fMRI studies showing that uncertainty is processed in the brain almost identically to physical pain. In other words, for some people, the idea of leaving a bad but familiar situation literally hurts. And here's the cruel twist: the more you avoid change, the stronger these neural pathways become. Avoidance feels like relief, so the brain learns, great strategy, do it again. Part 3, the childhood roots, where it all begins. Now, not everyone who experiences change feels terror, so why do some people develop this fear so intensely? The answer almost always traces back to early life. 1. Unpredictable or chaotic childhoods. If your parents were inconsistent, loving one day, screaming, or absent the next, your nervous system learned that the world is unsafe and unpredictable. Predictability became your only source of safety. Change equal to threat. 2. Overprotective or controlling parenting. Children raised with the message, "The world is dangerous, let me handle everything," never learn to tolerate uncertainty. They grow up believing they can't cope with the unknown. 3. Early losses or trauma. Losing a parent, sudden moves, bullying, or any big unpredictable event before age 12 can wire the brain to associate change with irreversible pain. 4. Temperament. You're born with it. About 15 to 20% of babies are born with what Dr. Jerome Kagan calls high reactivity. They startle easily, cry more, and withdraw from new stimuli. These kids are far more likely to grow into adults who fear change. A 30-year longitudinal study from New Zealand, the Dunedin study, found that children rated as inhibited at age 3 were significantly more likely to resist major life transitions in adulthood, everything from career shifts to marriage. Part 4. Personality traits that supercharge fear of change. Certain personality traits act like gasoline on this fire. High neuroticism, Big 5 personality model. You feel negative emotions more intensely, Low openness to experience. You simply don't enjoy novelty the way others do. Perfectionism. Change means risking failure, and failure is unbearable. High need for closure. Ambiguity feels excruciating. External locus of control. You believe life happens to you, not that you can influence. If someone scores high on 3 or more of these, change can feel like existential threat. Part 5, the hidden costs. What fear of change is really stealing from you? Avoiding change feels safe, but it comes with a devastating price tag. 1. Stagnation and regret. A 2021 study in the Journal of Personality found that people who fear change report significantly higher life regret by age 60, especially regrets of inaction, things they didn't do. 2. Resentment and victim mentality. When you stay stuck, you often end up blaming the world. My boss never gave me a chance. The economy is bad. I'm just unlucky. That story protects the ego, but it keeps you powerless. 3. Physical health decline. Chronic stress from living a life that no longer fits you raises cortisol long-term, leading to weight gain, weakened immune system, heart disease, and even accelerated brain aging. 4. Relationship damage. Partners, friends, and children eventually get tired of hearing "I'm not ready yet." Resentment builds. People leave, or worse, they stay and become bitter together. Part 6. Why some people thrive on change and how they're wired differently. Let's flip the camera for a second. People who love or at least tolerate change well have 3 things in common. 1. High tolerance for ambiguity. They can sit with "I don't know what's next" without panic. 2. Growth mindset. They see change as proof they're leveling up, not as proof they failed at the old level. 3. Strong internal locus of control. They trust themselves to handle whatever comes. The good news? These are not fixed traits. They're skills you can build. Part 7. How to start overcoming fear of change. Realistic steps, not toxic positivity. If you recognize yourself here, please hear this. You are not broken. Your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do: protect you. You can update the software. Step 1. Name the fear out loud. Research from UCLA Dr. Matthew Lieberman shows that simply labeling an emotion, "I'm scared of this change," reduces amygdala activation by up to 50%. Say it to a friend, a therapist, or even in the mirror. Step 2. Use the 5-year test. Ask, if I avoid this change, how will I feel about this decision in 5 years? Regret is a powerful motivator. Bronnie Ware's famous book, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying, lists, "I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself" as number 1. Step 3. Shrink the change your brain thinks. Quit job and travel the world means certain death. But update my resume this week, or have coffee with someone who did what I want to do feels manageable. James Clear calls this making the first step embarrassingly small. Step 4. Build an uncertainty tolerance muscle. Start with microdoses of voluntary discomfort. Take a different route home. Try a new restaurant without reading reviews first. Say yes to a social invitation you'd normally decline. Each time you survive, your brain updates the file. New thing. I didn't die. Cool. Step 5. Create safety nets, not walls. Fear of change often comes from imagining worst-case scenarios. Counter it by planning, if I take this new job and hate it, what's my exit strategy? Having a plan B paradoxically makes plan A feel safer. Step 6. Reframe the story. Instead of "I'm losing everything I know," try "I'm making space for a version of life that fits me better now." Cognitive reappraisal is one of the most evidence-based ways to reduce anxiety. Step 7. Get professional help if needed. If the fear is paralyzing, consider therapy, especially modalities like a CT, acceptance and commitment therapy. Teaches you to feel the fear and act. EMDR for trauma-based change fears. CBT to challenge catastrophic thinking. Final part. A message to the person watching who feels stuck right now. I want to end with something important. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You are not behind. You are a human whose brain is trying to keep you safe using 200,000-year-old programming in a world that changes every 10 seconds. Every single person you admire who seems fearless, they felt the fear too. They just moved forward anyway, usually in tiny, trembling steps you never saw. Change is coming whether you like it or not. Seasons change, bodies age, jobs end, people leave or arrive. The only choice you have is whether you want to be the author of the next chapter or a passenger watching it happen to you. Start with one ridiculously small step this week. 1. Because the truth is, the life you're avoiding might just be the one you've been praying for. If this video helped you understand yourself or someone you love a little better, drop a comment below and tell me, what's one change you've been avoiding? And what's one tiny step you could take this week? And if you want more deep dive psychology scripts like this every week, hit subscribe and the bell so you never miss one. Thank you for spending this time with me. You're braver than you feel today. I'll see you in the next one.